All right, everybody. Welcome to the Volvo Penta engine removal series. And what we're going to do now is finish preparing this thing for removal. The next thing you're going to want to do, because the hydraulics are going to be our next piece of the pie, is we're going to loosen this worm clamp. And I've already loosened it off camera. Then what you want to do is give this a few up and down. Don't just try pulling it, because it's probably not going to come out. This one, you can notice, is giving me a little bit of trouble. And then make sure your worm clamp is completely loose. And with a little persistence, bam, it comes off. All right. So what you can do now is just set this. This is part of the boat, so go ahead and set this aside somewhere. All right. And the reason is, you can see this and these wires kind of go right up next to the hydraulics, so you really want to get that out of the way so you're not fighting with the hydraulic lines and these electrical wires here. So now you've got a straight shot to your 5/8 and 7/16. All right, so what you're going to need is, you're going to need an oil pan, all right, and you're going to need a box wrench for your 5/8 and your 7/16. Once you've got your oil pan, you're also going to want to take some shop rags, because this thing, I'm just using one, but I've already drained this ahead of the video, and it gets messy because this cylinder here still has a lot of fluid in it, and it's going to leak up here a little bit. So what you're going to want to do is, and keep in mind, like I said, I've already loosened this ahead of time, is take your 5/8 off and completely drain it into the oil pan. Now you see mine is completely empty. That's awesome. Yours is not going to be that. You're not going to be that lucky. So go ahead and stick that one down there, and then you're going to notice fluid coming out. And just keep your shop rags coming, because you're going to need it. All right, and then loosen your 7/16. All right. That one's you're gonna have fluid come flying out there as well. Now you may notice that you're gonna have to go underneath your battery connector too. So go ahead and just lift your battery connector out of the way and slide that. Okay. And we'll slide it under these wires here. With a little bit of persistence. All right. And like I said, you're going to have a lot of fluid just come flying out. These, I drained these out yesterday to make the video go a little bit easier. But once these have completely drained and you feel comfortable, we need to cover those connectors so you don't get contaminants in there. All right, so now that we've got everything in a good position here, I'm going to take a shop rag. All right, I'm going to wrap it around and cover it, and then take a zip tie. Alright. And try to get that shop rack in there as much as you can. The goal here is to make sure we don't get any contaminants in this when we're moving it around. And then the next piece is, you want to make sure down here that you didn't wrap around any kind of connectors or anything. You want to be able to imagine that this goes straight up in the air, and it's not going to get hung up on anything. So you can do a few things from here. Is you can actually take and zip tie it again to the hose just so it's free. But just remember, as you're lifting this out of the motor, that these are here, and you just don't want them to get stuck. All right, so next piece is, we are going to, I'll get a better shot here in just a second, but we're going to go ahead and disconnect just the input from the battery off of the starter. You can do it a few ways. One of the ways that you may want to consider doing, and it kind of depends on your setup, is in reality you can actually just loosen off the positive lead off of your battery, and that would be good enough. The other thing too is, you notice off of the other side we've got the ground. Okay, so easiest way, in some cases you may want to just disconnect it off the starter, but in my situation I can actually just disconnect these leads and pull everything out of the, I can pull the whole motor out with these hanging afterwards. Yeah, in other words, I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to disconnect these. Okay, easy enough. All right, there's positive, negative. All right, and you got a little extra right there. We'll go ahead and remove that off camera. But that aside, there is actually one more little item we're going to look at here. Okay, now what we're going to do is take the leads. Remember, these are not connected to the battery anymore. I know when I first did this, I was like, ooh, this does not look good. But if you look back here, these are part of the, yeah, anyway, there you go. So battery is 100% disconnected. Got the leads ready. Get these shop rags out of here. All right, let's move on to the next piece. All right, so the next piece you're going to need to locate is, this is for the hydraulic pump, and this provides the power for it. So what you'll want to do with this is, there's a little connector here. You just want to lift it up and pull it. You notice with this one we've got quite a lot of corrosion in there. We'll try to clean those terminals up as best we can, but that's got to get disconnected. All right, and from there we're going to go ahead and move on to the throttle cable. So you'll notice on this side of the motor we've got our cotter pin. We're going to go ahead and loosen the cotter pin off. We'll get that disconnected. Try not to lose your miscellaneous little items here, like the washer. Alright, the best way to do that is to reinstall it. Yeah, but anyway, that's okay. It happens. Next thing we're going to do is, there is a connector back here. I believe that's going to be, that's our trusty 7/16. We'll go ahead and loosen that off. All right, 7/16 bolt and nut disconnected. Same as before. Try not to lose it. So what I do is I just put it right back into place, and that will loosen up your throttle connector. All right, so what else is there? That is pretty much it. We've got we've got our exhaust disconnected. You've got your ground cable on that side of the motor disconnected. You've got your throttle disconnected. You've got your water input disconnected as well for your trim pump. That's disconnected. On the other side, we disconnected the 5/8 and 7/16. That's that one down there, and we disconnected the power leads to the motor. That is pretty much going to be it. So with the next step here is, we are going to physically back this boat up, and we're going to connect our chain and start lifting it up. Stay tuned. I hope you like this part 6 of the series. Stay tuned for part 7 as we actually pull the boat motor, the Volvo Penta, out of the boat. Have a good one. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video. Take it easy.